Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Lala Ferdowsi. Welcome back to my channel again. In today's lesson, I'm trying to show you how to create the rubrics and add the rubrics on your Google Classroom. So for that purposes, I'm going to my Google Classroom. So here is one of my interface of my Google Classroom. This is the class for my engineering economics course by the from the textile department. So in tomorrow, I have an exam with my microeconomics course from BBA. So I want to create a question for them, a class test question for them, also add the rubrics over there. So I will show you how I am going to add that rubrics on that class test examination along with the class test examination paper, and how it will look like from a student interface. অর্থাৎ আমি এটাও দেখাবো যে শুধু অ্যাজ এ টিচার না, একজন স্টুডেন্ট তার গুগল ক্লাসরুম থেকে তার কাছে এই রুব্রিক্স সহ কোশ্চেনটা দেখতে কেমন হবে। Okay, so let's go to my Google Classroom. So in when you want to make any kind of question, you have to go to the panel that is classwork. So there are lots of topics. So I want to create a quiz assignment because I want to create I will take a class test tomorrow. So I open the I just click on the button quiz assignment. So already a blank quiz form, blank Google Forms already created here, but I don't want to take the exam on Google Form. So that's why I close it. So now just type for title purposes, just write down like class test no 2. So just I write down the name. And if I want to give an any kind of instruction, you can write down here. So now for question, I already made the question, so that I just I want to add the file. So from my computer, I'm just adding the file. So this is their question. So already I add the question. Now let's talk about the point grading. So the question, the total question mark is 15. So that's why I add the point 15, and I want to assign all the students, so that I select all the students. No due date, no, there is a due date for it. So the I select the due date. So for them, the due date is actually Sunday. And if you want, you can add up the time. So Sunday, actually their last submission time will be 5:15 p.m. So just I select the time and due date. So now let's talk about the rubrics. So how can I add the rubrics in my Google Classroom? So in the lower corner, there is the option which is rubric. So if I click on this button, there are three options: create a rubrics, reuse a rubrics, import from sheets. So if I want, I can create a rubrics. So or I can reuse a rubrics. Reuse rubrics means already you have used this rubrics in your another examination purpose or assessment purposes. So you can reuse that. So already I made the rubrics for them and use it in my another course. So that's why today I will reuse the rubrics. So just I click on the button reuse the rubrics. So for microeconomics, I didn't use any kind of rubrics, but ওই যে আমি বলে আসলাম for my textile engineering department, sorry, my textile engineering course, engineering economics course, I used a rubric in their second cluster. So I will reuse that in my today's assessment for the microeconomics students. So I select that. I already selected. So now I can see that already I add the rubric here. So if you want, you can check it. So how does it look like? So that you will get ideas about what's going on there. So actually in rubric, there is a portion in the upper corner that is criteria. Criteria means your question, for which purpose you are going to assess them. So you have to write down the criteria. Then the lower area, it's called description. You have to describe the question properly. And to write down the criteria, you can use only one action verb. Okay, only one action verb, and in description you have to describe properly the criteria. So for example, in my first question, the question I made for my students, in the first question there is a question from cost of production. That means they will calculate the costing behind the production process. So that's why my criteria is cost of the production. Now, what they have to calculate? They have to calculate the variable cost, average fixed cost, average variable cost, average total cost, marginal cost, etc., etc. And there is some criteria for it. So I describe everything in the description part. Then actually the rubric. For example, I split it. It's a descriptive rubrics, and it's a very large rubrics. So for example, this is a 10 marks question. So he or she will get 10 marks. That means the excellent marking when the calculation is proper without any error. Or he or she will get very good when the calculation is okay, but there is two or more mistakes. Then for good, okay, the calculation is okay, but there is lots of mistake like 4 to 6. Then he or she will get average marking like 4 marks when there is more than 7 mistakes. And for fair, when there's a lots of mistake. And for bad, if the calculation does not make any sense. For that purposes, they will get bad marking. So let's see uh, what happening if there is a descriptive question like there is a question like free rider. So it's a descriptive question. So for that purpose, how I'm going to assess them? So free rider problem. So in description part, I just write down the question and explaining them what I want. So actually in this question, I want that they will get clear idea about free rider. Then they will give an example, real life example. So when they will give all of this, then they will get the full marks. So in description part, I just write down excellent when they will get, sorry, they will get excellent marking when they explain the free rider problem properly with a real life example. then then it goes on. So now actually I want to show you how to create rubrics in your Google Classroom. So just allow me some time. I just close down it so that it would be easy for you to. Suppose in for this class test, I don't reuse this rubrics so that I cross it. So yeah, they ask you the entire rubrics will be permanently deleted. So it will not available for you or your students. So I want to delete it because I want to make a rubric for you. I told you that I will make a rubric so that you can it will be easy to understand for you. So for that purposes, now again I press the button that is rubric. So there are three options: create rubrics, reuse rubrics, or import from sheet. So now I click the button that is create rubrics. So now let's write down how to create the rubric. So here is it. So first thing is criteria. So same thing, আমি যেহেতু same question repeat example নিচ্ছি, so I know that my first question is about calculation of the cost of production. So just write down the topic that is calculation of cost of the production. And just like before, I use one action verb. Okay, calculation of cost of production. Then in description, you have to describe what you want. Like I want the calculation of, variable cost. I just use the initial, average fixed cost, average variable cost, average cost, sorry, my mistake, average variable cost, average cost, and finally the marginal cost. So I write on the description. Okay, so actually in description area, you have to describe what you want. Like I want that he or she have to calculate properly the variable cost, average fixed cost, average variable cost, and marginal cost. Now let's see how to apply the grading level. So for example, for first point, my quotient total marks is 10. So the highest point he or she will get, that is 10 marks. So the level title will be excellent. For me, it's excellent. Excellent. And description. So what did I say? That is the proper calculate. When he or she will do the proper calculation, he will get the full marks. So just I write down proper calculation of cost of production. Proper calculation of cost of production without any error. So when he or she will do the proper calculation of cost of production without any error, she will get the excellent marking. So now I want to add another scoring. So just I press. So it's a large, it's a broad question. So that's why my second point will be 8, and this level title is very good. So same thing. Now you he or she will get the very good marks when there is proper calculation, but there is some partial mistake. So then they will get the proper calculation. So without any mistake, instead of without any mistake, I just write down with 2 or more mistake. Okay. So now, then the next point will be like 6. Then the next one is 4. It's actually totally up to the teacher, but it's better spread it as much as possible. Then the next one is 2, and for 6 point the grading is good. For 4 point the grading is average, and for 2 points the grading is fair. Okay, so then just write down the description. Just for simplicity purposes, I'm just I just write down the description as easy as possible. Just copy this so that that would be easy for me to write it fast. So he or she will get 6 marks when there is more than 4 mistakes. So just I write down 4, F-O-U-R, 4, 4 to 4 to 6 mistakes. So when my students will make 4 to 6 mistakes, they will get 6 marks. For average, when they will make 7 to 8 mistakes, it's a mathematical question. That's why I can't count the mistakes. 7 to 8 mistakes, then he or she will get average marking. And for fair, the marking will be with lots of mistakes, like with more than 10 mistakes. Okay, for that mistakes, they will get the fair marking. So just save it. When I am going to save this will add with my so let's see, the already the rubrics add up in my uh, Google Classroom and my obviously my assignment. So now I don't want to assign this now because the exam is tomorrow on 3 p.m. So that's why I want to schedule it. So if you want to schedule an exam, just click on the schedule. Just click on the assign button. There is a button which shows the lower arrow. So just click on that, Then click on the schedule button. So I want to schedule this exam. So I know the exam will start on tomorrow uh, at 3 p.m. So just write down the time. So like 3, it's not a.m., it's p.m. So 3 p.m. Just I shall select it and schedule. So my exam is scheduled and it will open tomorrow on exactly 3 p.m. So now for your queries purposes, now let's see how does it look like from a student interface. So already in engineering economics section, I already took the exam with the rubrics. So in this class already I have joined as a student also. Yes, I'm the teacher here, but also I have a personal account using that. I'm a teacher here. I'm a student also in this class. So that interface is open there. So this is my that class. So I just click on there. So and now I can see from the student interface. So I can see that my teacher already posted a new assignment class number 2. So just I click on there. So I can see that there is my city question. So if I click there, I can see the city question. Here is my city question. There is a math. There is a descriptive question. And the twist, where is the rubrics? Here is it. So now if I click there, I can see how my teacher will evaluate me for answering the first question. I can see the rubric. Also for the second question, I can see that how my teacher will be evaluating me. So I hope the things are clear to you. After that, if you have more question, you want more elaborate video tutorial, feel free to comment on my comment box so that I can prepare more videos like this. So thank you everyone. Thanks for your patience and see you on the next video tutorial. Thank you.